Good morning. This is Rick Bannister. I'm the CEO and founder of Neighborhood Bridges, and we are continuing with our podcast, our Kindness Cast. And I'm so happy today to include as our special guest Jennifer McGriff, who is our Area Director for Neighborhood Bridges in Etowah County. And Jennifer, you've just done an amazing job since you've stepped into this role, but can you share what is your role there with the school district and what do those responsibilities include?
Sure. Well, good morning. Hope you guys are staying warm in Ohio. It's due to be 72 today here in Alabama.
Oh,
So
wow. Great.
yeah, it's crazy. So my role is I do several things within our school system, but I work in our student support services, department. And one of the things that I do is support students who are having extra challenges, and those manifest often in the classroom. And so when we pull the thread on that, oftentimes we find that there are deeper needs. All of their behaviors are coming from something. And so that's what I do, and that looks a lot of different ways. I help out with early warning, which is our process when we have students who have excessive absences or tardies. We bring them to the table, we discuss with them, what are the barriers, why are you not coming to school, because most of the time we find that there are reasons. And in that setting, Neighborhood Bridges it's just been a wonderful thing to have, because often we find out that these families are sometimes they're homeless. Sometimes they, our water's been shut off. So, we were unable to have a shower, all of the things. And so that's another thing that I do. And then just finding community resources for our students and for our families, and really taking over this role with Neighborhood Bridges as the area director within our school system has propelled that role and sort of defined what I do within our school system even more.
Yeah. So I wonder if you could expand just a little bit about that, because, when I hear you talk about the work that you're doing, I often say to folks like you that I created Neighborhood Bridges for you as a platform actually to serve. We want to serve those children with those barriers that you talked about. But I wonder if you could just share a little bit more, elaborate, you know, how Neighborhood Bridges helps you and your colleagues there in Etowah County, ramp up in engagement or drive more support to your students in need.
Well, it's Neighborhood Bridges has allowed us to create an awareness within our community, because we do have a lot of wonderful agencies and services here in Etowah County, but this, the way that we run our Neighborhood Bridges, it is specific to our school system, because we have roughly 8,500 students that we serve within our school system. And it's so easy. That's the beauty of it. And it's so transparent. So, our social workers, counselors, lay people, our teachers, our lunchroom staff, anybody can contact me and say, hey, there's a student or there's a family in our community and this is the need. And I'm able to just go and pop that onto our website, and people it's just the response has been incredible, honestly. I mean, I've posted needs and they're met, within hours of the need being posted. And I think the community has grabbed onto this because of its transparency and because of its ease, because people genuinely want to help, but oftentimes they don't have the time to, oh, where can I help? What can I do to help? And so what this provides for them is information every morning to be able to, hey, here's how you can make a difference today.
That's amazing what you're sharing there. And so let's expand on that a little bit. Your work has just been extraordinary. And I give you a lot of credit, Jennifer, for Etowah County is lucky to have you for sure.
Thank
but
you.
just to share a little bit with your community and anyone else who might be watching this. I looked this morning, Etowah County Neighborhood Bridges in this past year has filled 66 needs and directly impacted at 420 plus students and families. That's really amazing and pretty busy. And I wonder if there are just a couple of examples that come to mind of things that the community's been able to come forward and provide for to help the students of Etowah County.
It's amazing, and I could tell so many stories. I was just, when you said that, I'm thinking, which do I want to share? Because I mean, when I tell you the spectrum of needs that we have, that we've been able to meet or that we've been made aware of, are crazy. So, we had one story. We had a great grandmother raising her great grandchild, and they had an ongoing. This was, an attendance issue, but when we pulled the thread, there was an ongoing issue with lice, and so the grandmother just had no ability to really do the things that she needed to do to help the child, get rid of the lice. And so we were actually able, we put that need on, and somebody immediately donated and met that need. And so then the child was able to return to school. So that was a huge barrier. And it's such an unusual thing. When I was when I was writing out the check to lessen lice was the name was the name of the business that came out, and they actually came to the school to do that for her. And that's just one story. But we were able to contribute. We have one of our local elementary schools. They have a sports program for their severe special ed students, and they are doing baseball this year. And so we were able. I put that need on Neighborhood Bridges. They were in need of gloves and bats and balls and all of that. And so we were able to go and buy a couple of gift cards from Academy for them, and they were, so grateful. And this was a very cool story. We as you know, we received a community award from our local chamber. Had no idea what it was. We just got an email and said, hey, you guys are a finalist for an award. We're having a luncheon. So we show up, and it was for Neighborhood Bridges, and we received the Community Impact Award. Well, just ahead of, we're in the luncheon, and I get a text from one of the local mayors. I had posted a need. A single mom needed a washer and dryer. And so I got a text during that luncheon that he had secured a brand new washer and dryer set and had it delivered to this single mom who she had fled a domestic violence situation. And so she was just, restarting her life. And so that was just another really cool story, because he was actually at the awards luncheon, and so I wanted to say something to him, but he's one of those guys. He doesn't really want to be recognized, but he does a lot of things behind the scenes for us, and has gained a lot of support for Neighborhood Bridges just through who he is and through word of mouth and what he does in our community.
So I want to come back and talk about that award in a minute, but because we're so proud of you and grateful to the community there. But I really want to drive down on this example you just shared about the mayor, because Jennifer, I was with you in September, and you called this meeting of key stakeholders in the community because, and this is so important to, and kind of envelops everything that you've told this morning with me. But it's so important, I think, today to invite key stakeholders into the equation. Because as you've stated, everybody, this is a bet on humanity, right? I mean, everybody wants to help, and they many times just don't know how to do it. But that meeting in September, I don't know, you had at least 30 plus folks in the room, maybe more, and a lot of mayors, community leaders. And, since that time, and I think it's through your transparency and your work actually that did this, but I noted that you've raised $12,500 in your community, either
Mhm.
through local business or some of the municipalities. And so I wonder if you could share a little bit about that, because I think it ties back to your work, but also taking the time, a couple of times a year to just pause and tell that story and be transparent to the stakeholders.
So it's interesting, after the stakeholder meeting, I connected with one of the bank presidents, one of our credit union bank presidents, and he is actually the one that connected. He said, "Hey, I want to get all of the other credit union presidents to the table. I want you to share with them, what Neighborhood Bridges is." Well, at that point in time, I was not asking for money from anybody. And
Right.
I'll say this, I found that not asking for money is the way to get money. And I was just asking more for support, for visibility, because we're still in the process of building internal awareness of Neighborhood Bridges, as well as external awareness of what Neighborhood Bridges is. And so this particular man, he scheduled a meeting with the other credit union presidents in our area, and gave them the pitch. Not as well as you do, Rick, but but I think I said enough. And then I think it was like just a few days later, one of the other credit union presidents reached out and he said, "Hey, I want to give $5,000." It's like, okay, fantastic. And he has been a big supporter personally as well. They gave it, that donation, but he and his wife both have filled needs that we post online still. So that support has been incredible. And then back to the mayor, he was one of the people at our steering committee meeting. And everybody loves this guy and he knows everybody. And he bought into Neighborhood Bridges. I hate to say buy in. He saw the value in Neighborhood Bridges. And then so the mayor of Rainbow City, the police chief of Rainbow City, and then the owner of Landcrafters, which is it's a big landscaping business here in town. So they each gave $2,500.
Right.
So,
Right.
and that was, just, I don't know. It's interesting. Like I said, it's not that I've been out saying, "Hey, can you give money? Can you give money?" It's, "Can you help me provide awareness? Can you help me, you know, saturate the county with this so that they understand this is, I mean, super easy. It's somewhere you can show kindness to your community. It's somewhere that you can give directly back into the community because it's not going anywhere else." And then we had someone who's running for district judge. I can't remember how that evolved and how it happened, but long story short, he recently has donated $1,000. So that's what now, 13,500 now.
That's great. I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we have a few others that have reached out and they are interested in donating. It's just, I don't know. It just keeps getting better.
It's a wonderful story. And I think it just underscores how, as you have said repeatedly, or demonstrated in this conversation, it's about awareness and transparency and service to others. And I think when it comes to children, we line up for that opportunity. When I say we, I mean the greater community. And so I just, I think that you are a model for neighborhood bridges and for, how to serve humbly. And I think it's through that example where that is drawn that's your example is what's drawing support from all corners of the community. And so let's go back to that recognition from the chamber. um I mean, that I know that came as unexpectedly to you, but it really means a lot to me because as the founder of Neighborhood Bridges, what this tells me is the Chamber of Commerce there understands, kind of on a serious note here, they understand the importance of what you're doing. and they understand the importance of addressing proactively, um, these non-cognitive barriers to learning or the wholeness of the child and what that means for years to come, right? I've had a lot of chambers of commerce executives refer to this as a pillar of economic development, our work. And I agree with them. I think they're right. I think that helping kids achieve to their fullest potential is good for any community.
Mhm.
And I believe that might be a portion of why your great work was recognized, because the chamber is assigning very high value to your work there in the community. I wonder if there's anything you'd like to share about that.
Um, like I mean, it was a complete surprise. I thought it was just going to be our school system as a whole, and I mean, there was only one community impact award given for the whole of Etowah County. So obviously I was, felt very honored, made me a little emotional, honestly. Excuse me, because, it's just people recognizing that we're making a difference. People recognizing and seeing the value in helping other people, because our kids, our students, they can't succeed if their families aren't succeeding. And for them
Right.
to understand that there's value in paying a power bill before it's shut off. There's value in helping a family repair a vehicle. There's value in securing an eye exam for a student who will otherwise not be able to get that care, you know? And
Yeah.
so for me, I just wish that I had been expecting it a little bit, because they did give me an opportunity to speak and I was emotional. And I mean, Dr. Cosby did an awesome job, and he did share something, but in retrospect, I was like, I should have said, okay, now log on right now or get on to Neighborhood Bridges right now and sign up as a subscriber. But hindsight's 2020. But the way that they have that awareness of what Neighborhood Bridges is because I serve on one of the task teams for the Etowah Chamber, and they have been so supportive, and we're just really amazed at what Neighborhood Bridges can do. And so for the community to be able to see that, I mean, because it is the whole of the county, and we are just serving our students in our Etowah County school system. It was a big deal. It was a very big deal for me, not because it's about me, but just because I think it just opened a lot of doors, or more doors, for us. After the event was over, I had a county commissioner come up to me and, hey, I want to hear more about Neighborhood Bridges, and several other people. So it was a big deal. Alabama, just to give you an idea, Alabama Power, which is our local power company, received the award last year. So
Wow.
yeah, so I was very surprised and excited, for sure.
Yeah. Just one last thing I want to touch on. And again, very grateful to the Chamber of Commerce
Mhm.
for their thoughtfulness. And, none of this is by accident. From my view as a neighbor of yours, maybe a distant neighbor, but a neighbor nonetheless, what I see in Etowah County is a real spirit of community and a desire to take care of one another. I see this everywhere, but I think Etowah is a shining example of it. And so I just want to note that, you know, the support that you receive from the superintendent there, Dr. Crosby, I've seen it. I find him to be uh, amazing in his belief and his value system. And I've sat in several meetings where he has talked about this. And, I think he deserves a lot of credit also and a lot of thanks, because he's assigned a priority to this work. And but for that, we'd probably still be operating there, but not to the comprehensiveness that we're seeing today. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, he is so supportive and just believes in the mission,
Yeah.
and that, I mean, that's important because if not, like you said, it would not be what it is. And one thing that I've done, just for people that may be, seeking kindness council members or support within their community, one thing that I do is when we have a donation made, someone who wants to come on board as a kindness council member, I invite them to the board meetings, and that way they, we do a photo. Dr. Cosby speaks about that particular business or person, or whoever happens to be given the donation, and so he supports in that way too. He always, is supportive of having those people come to the board meetings and recognizing them, and then posting it on our social media, and so that has been very helpful because people, a lot of people like that recognition, and it helps their businesses, or whatever their interests are, wherever they're giving from. So that's been a
Yeah,
big.
it's great. It's a great story. It's important to say thank you, and it's exciting to be able to celebrate uh community response, and for another reason, and that is that others in the community see this, and
Mhm.
it will inspire them to hopefully come forward again, get involved, do what they would like to do, and we certainly invite that. So um, Jennifer, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for coming into this and putting your stamp on it. Uh, and I'm terribly grateful to know you and to see your work. And thanks for sharing today on this Kindness Cast.
Well, thank you. Thank you for creating such a great opportunity for people to show kindness.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.